Welcome back. In this lecture, we are going to design a sub-bass sound. This is a common sound that you'll find in hip-hop, and also maybe just kind of like a huge drop in certain electronic sounds. It kind of has this like really subby, clicky bass sound. Okay, so let's go through this and build it. This is a pretty simple one, so we'll be able to knock it out. So let's get going. So we're going to start with oscillator 1. And we are going to select a sine wave. And let's bring our wavetable position all the way to the left in order to have a pure sine wave. And that will sound like this. Okay, that's nice, but we want to make it nice and low. So we can drop this down. You can either drop it down 1 octave or even 2. So if you are not using good speakers to listen to this, you might not even hear that. That's a pretty low frequency. So for the purposes of this course, we'll kind of move in between the two. But let's just go to 1 octave down, should be 12 semitones for now, just so we can hear what's going on. And now the main thing about this sub-bass sound is you kind of want to have a nice long decay and to even drop in pitch depending on if that's what you're going for. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're not going to be using any filters. We're just going to go straight to the 4th envelope, which is modulating the overall amplitude by default. So let's go here and let's tweak this a little bit so that we get the sound that we're looking for. So we want a very short attack. So bring your attack knob all the way down, and we want a long release and a short decay. We want something that kind of looks like this. Okay, the other thing that I'm going to do is switch this to 1 shot. That way, whenever I strike a key, it will the entire course of the envelope will carry out. Okay, that's good, but I'm hearing some problems already. The first thing that I need to change is the voicing. We need to set this to mono rotate, because when you're dealing in this frequency, you really don't want multiple notes playing at the same time. And I also don't want any glide time in between my notes, so I'm going to switch back to the oscillator page, turn down the time. Okay, so we're already sort of getting to what we want. So we're back in envelope 4. And you can adjust that release time to taste. Like if you want a really long release, you can have it like that. You can shorten this a little bit. So we can hear that click in the beginning, and that's actually good. We want that. If I had less attack, like this, it takes away from some of the punch that we're looking for. We want a little bit of that punch. So actually, what I want to do now is to build another envelope and assign it to our noise generator. So I'm just going to go down to envelope number 1, and I'm going to drag this down to the amplitude of the noise generator. And I'm going to create a modulation range up to maybe about right here. And with this envelope, it's sort of going to be the opposite. I want a short attack and a really short decay as well, decay time as well. So I turn my attack down, and I'm going to turn the sustain level all the way down. And then I want a really short decay, no release, a really short decay, so that all I'm getting is a little bit of that click from the noise. You can hear that, maybe even a little bit less. That just adds in a little bit of that click, and you can adjust this to taste. If you want more amplitude on that noise, you can turn that up, turn your range up. If you want less, you can turn it down. You can also experiment with different colors and different noises. A lot of people like the bright noise for this particular sound. That's a nice bright click. You can change the color here. You can try some of these other noises. You're dealing with such a short sound that it's kind of tough to tell the difference, but let's just stick with bright noise for this. Okay, so we're off to a really good start. Now, if you want to have a drop in the pitch of your sine wave, we can assign another envelope. So let's take envelope number 3 and drop it into the pitch slot. And you want this pitch setting to be on 12 or an octave up. And now we need to design this envelope so that we have a nice consistent drop in the pitch. So I'm going to turn the attack all the way down, and I'm going to turn the sustain level down, and I'm also going to set the decay slope to linear like this, as well as setting the envelope to a one shot. So you can hear that drop. And then you can adjust this decay level knob to figure out the timing that you want for the drop. So if I increase the decay knob, then the length of time it takes for it to drop in pitch will decrease. It'll make it slower. Now we're getting almost into the kick drum category, which we'll be talking more about later. But that has a nice subby drop to it. You can also try dropping the destination pitch down, even another octave. So that is how you design a sub-bass sound in Massive. Play around with some of the different parameters and the decay times of the envelopes, that pitch drop, to find something that you like for your project, and we'll see you in the next lecture.